Well, next news is I think also interesting one. Interesting one. Yesterday, I shared with you information, dear friends, about statements, crazy statements that special envoy of U.S. President Kellogg was making in one of the forums that was taking place in Odessa, I believe, that was financed, organized, by the way, by Soros people, right? Which is quite interesting stuff. Uh, and um, and Kellogg. Yesterday, I only had one short clip of his crazy statements, but later on, I did see some more, and I want to share with you, dear friends, his statements. You tell me what you make of it. Clear demonstration. I will just add that this is a clear demonstration that Trump is being misled by his inner circle. Trump is being misled big time by his inner circle. And if he believes people like Kellogg or head of their general staff in US and like that, then he knows nothing about what is going on the battlefield. I mean, Trump. Let's listen, dear friends, what Kellogg had to say. It's something extraordinary, man. Something extraordinary. Just take a look at this.
Winning, he'd be in Kiev. If he was winning, he'd be west of the Dnieper River. If he was winning, he'd be on Odessa. If he was winning, he would have changed the government. Russia is, in fact, losing this war.
You see, this how he become a general. I mean, I have a genuine question: how this moron, literally moron, by the way, become a general in U.S. Army? Do they check intellect of the people that they make that they take in the military academies or from whichever institution this kind of generals being created? It's insane, isn't it? Did Kellogg heard anything about a battle for Moscow? Historians will argue that after Battle of Moscow, Nazi Germany was losing. After Battle of Moscow, Nazi Germany was losing and Soviet Union was winning. And there is no doubt that after Battle for Stalingrad, by the way, Germany was losing and Soviet Union was winning. Even though Red Army was far, far, far away from Berlin, right? And what about Kursk battle? Hardly anyone will argue that after Kursk battle, Red Army, Soviet Union was winning big time. And what about Operation Bagration? Hardly anyone with any knowledge about Second World War will argue that Soviet Union was winning, even though Soviet troops were 1,000 kilometers away from Berlin. So what this moron Kellogg is talking about, just because Russian troops are not yet in Kiev, we are not winning in this proxy war that West is waging against Russia. What the hell, man? This is embarrassment. Trump has to remove this psycho, man. Trump has to remove this psycho from position because this is just too embarrassing. Because people gonna think worldwide that if this moron, uneducated, illiterate moron is a special envoy of Trump, then Trump is actually even worse, probably. So something has to be done about it. This is not normal, not okay. This crazy is embarrassing U.S. in general, not just Trump, but U.S. in general. But let's continue what else he has to say.
Now they may make movements and see. So while they're advancing in the Donbass region and the Donetsk, but if you consider advancing, moving by meters, not miles, well then okay, that's successful. But at the cost they're having, it's enormous. And I don't think people truly appreciate it. It's a number. But the numbers they have lost, when you're talking dead and wounded, well over 1 million. They left Afghanistan after losing 18,000. We left Vietnam after losing 65,000. They've lost over 1 million dead or wounded. These numbers are World War II level numbers.
Are you seeing how he's manipulating with the numbers? He's talking about when they left Afghanistan, they They lost 18,000. Now they lost killed and wounded million. First of all, I don't believe anything that this moron says. But usually, by the way, how military casualties are counted for one dead military personnel. If you have a high-level medical service, then it's a 5-7 wounded, right? 5 to 7 wounded. So that should be kept in mind. And the majority of these wounded personnel after treatment are going back to the front line, and I know that firsthand because my relatives, by the way, were wounded and went back to the front line. So I know what am I talking about, right? So Kellogg is lying, speculating with the numbers. He's mentioning Afghanistan. Well, unfortunately, in Afghanistan, we lost about 12,000 military personnel. Some might say little more than that. That's our KAA. That's not overall number of wounded too. But when it comes to wounded military personnel, number was potentially in hundreds of thousands. But actual losses were 12,000 plus KAAs. So Kellogg is trying to mislead their people again and again and again, right? Speculating with the numbers.
When you think about it, they're stunning in the loss, and this is in their first line units that they came and tried to take Kyiv with a little over four years ago. Those first line units are gone, so they've gone through a second or a third or fourth iteration.
He is lying, by the way. My relative was in the first wave. My relative was in the first wave when special military operation began, and he is still active on the battlefield, and his unit, by the way. They are from North Ossetia, Alania, part of 58th Army, and they still continue. And by the way, North Ossetian units from North Ossetia, they did amazing, unbelievable work, by the way, and continue to do. But one should keep in mind that, and this makes proud many people in North Ossetia, that 58th Army and their North Ossetian volunteer battalions were actually on most difficult areas of 2023 summer counteroffensive of the Kyiv regime. Remember when they were attacking in Zaporozhye direction and they being demolished? These enemy forces, brigade after brigade after brigade, were demolished. And 58th Army did its job there, by the way, Russian 58th Army. And this Ossetian, these battalions are also voluntary battalions from North Ossetia, Alania were there too. And they're still fighting, by the way. So what Kellogg is talking about, this moron has no freaking idea about anything. Nothing, man. Гребаные ублюдки, man, they do not know anything, really, right? Unbelievable, man. But anyways, let's listen, because after all, this freaking, this one is advisor of Trump. And I give you another short clip, by the way, which gives you factual evidence that they are lying to Trump, and Trump is misled. Trump is misled big time.
Of wartime commanders. They're pulling tanks out of mothballs, out of museums, to put on the battle line.
You see, they are pulling out tanks from museums and that kind of nonsense. Even Kyiv regime is not saying this crazy stuff, man. Just recently, main intelligence deputy of the Budanov, by the way, main intelligence directorate of Kyiv regime, was giving interview, and during that interview he said, if I remember correctly, numbers, by the way, he said that this year alone Russia will, according to their information, and they're of course going to come up with their as minimal numbers as possible to downgrade Russian capabilities, but even he was saying, by the way, that Russia will already produce some 250 brand new tanks, right? Brand new tanks, by the way, and more than 1,000 brand new armored personnel carriers and infantry fighting vehicles. And this freaking idiot, Kellogg, is saying that Russians are taking tanks and some stuff from museums, man. And in the West, people are listening to this type of elements, isn't it, dear friends? In the West, people are listening to this kind of idiots. And probably they actually think that, well, I mean, Russia gonna collapse now because they are taking rifles from the museums, artillery pieces from the museums, tanks from the museums, everything, even a uniform being taken from the museum. So, well, NATO is winning, Russia is losing. That's the psychopathic understanding gonna be created in the Western public, right, of their objective reality. While that would be complete false, right? Just imaginary reality in which I guess vast majority of Western society is already living, even without Kellogg. But nevertheless, this is insane. This is insane, and this is not all, man. This is not all. I'm gonna give you another video with very same Kellogg when he's admitting that he is misleading U.S. president. Just listen to this.
It's a great question because I was actually asked this question by the president, President Trump, in the Oval Office probably 6 weeks ago. Same question, and I responded quite forcefully. And I finally said, Mr. President, don't just listen to me. Your chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, is outside. He's out in the outer oval. Bring him in. Ask him that question. He's your principal military advisor. And he did. And Dan said the same thing. Are they winning? Nope. They're not winning. So Putin could say he's winning all.
You see? He is acknowledging that not just him, but others in the Trump's inner circle are lying to the president of US and misleading him while telling that, well, Russia is not winning. What the hell, man? And probably then, after listening to these idiots, Trump is saying, well, I mean, if not today, tomorrow, Ukrainian regime gonna be in Moscow. So, why should they de-escalate anything? I mean, God knows what thought process is in Trump's mind, but he is not informed well, man. He is just not informed. He has no freaking idea what is going on. If Kellogg and the people like him are advising him. And this is on a level of treason, I think. Kellogg, his family is vastly invested, isn't it, in Ukrainian crisis. His daughter is making tons of money, right, on Ukrainian crisis. So he has a direct interest this war to continue as long as possible. He has personal interest. His family has personal interest. So why this element is still a special envoy of Trump? I don't know. But I think we have to time at least listen what these elements have to say, because that will give us an understanding of thought process in Washington, one way or another. Hello everyone, I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with the crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.